Open up the gate to the sheeps. And they're off. Picked up this washer earlier this week. It's pretty dirty. We're getting ready to hook it up and see what's going on with it. Went through with the hose, washed down the drum a little bit, put some water in it so we're not running it dry. It's kind of dirty in there, but before I clean it, I just want to get a good idea of what's going on. It's turned on now. Sounds like it's trying to do something. The drum ain't moving. I'm not sure what's going on there. We're gonna pop this front end off, take a look inside. There's a bunch of spider webs, but it doesn't look in too bad a shape. Nothing's too rusted up. There's no belt. That's why nothing's spinning. The hard part is there's no belt for reference, so we're gonna see what we can find. I think I found the right belt, but we ran into another issue. You can see this is the wheel that holds the belt in place. This is for the transmission, looks to be good. This is for the water pump. Looks to be good. It's a metal one, but this plastic one on the motor is all wore away. This explains why the belt is no longer here. We're gonna see what we can do, if we can maybe swap this plastic out or just replace the whole motor if we have one. Prime example of why I keep these old parts that I'm not sure I might need. Here's another motor for this model machine. It's got the plastic on it. As you can see, this one is not wore away. Needs to be cleaned up a bit, but it's a good motor. Just so I don't run the risk of breaking this plastic, let's just go ahead and swap the motor out. It's just 2 screws here. We're gonna flip the machine upright, get that complete, and hopefully that's the only issue here. Last thing to do, let's clean up this area a bit and then install the new motor. Just finished installing the 2 motor bolts. Got the ground hooked up, got the wires hooked up. We're gonna leave the motor cover off for now. Once we hook up a belt and make sure it works, we'll reinstall it. I cleaned up this bottom area a bit. It was pretty dirty, but this is kind of what it should look like. All 3 wheels are looking good. Re-greased all the wheels, conditioned the belt. Let's get it tested. Spinning nice now. That seems to have been the only issue. We still got to clean this thing up. Now that we know it works, we're gonna test it with some clothes. Make sure it doesn't leak. This old school barn washer cleaned up pretty nice. Had a lot of dirt on the surface, but all in all, not too bad. Running some clothes through it. Once it finishes out this cycle with no issues, we'll get the front end put on and test it one more time. While we let that washer test, we're gonna go check in on the dogs with this thing. Starting to sprinkle out here a bit. I let these 2 guys out. It'll be a lot easier for me to keep track of them with this little thing. This little machine runs like a champ. I did tighten down one of the screws back here. There was a little bit of rattle going on, but I think I resolved that issue. What I will do, yesterday I put all the plastic back on except the front end because a lot of the plastic clips in here were broken, to help protect it from the tall grass or whatever else I might hit, rocks and whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this front end somehow. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. We won't install the headlights. I'm gonna leave those off. I don't need them draining my battery for no reason. Found some new bolts, some new washers, and some nuts. Found a way to get this thing attached. 4 bolts down there. I think it might rattle here a bit. There's no way to fasten it. Over time, it's come loose a little bit, so I might put some screws here right on the edge just to help hold it on. We got all the parts and plastics installed. Last thing I did, put these 5 self-tapping screws here on the front end. That way it doesn't vibrate loose. Everything works like it should. Runs good, drives good. Finally, put a good bit of work into this thing. Finished up with this old school Admiral washer, working like it should, cleaned up pretty nice. Might need a little bit of touch-up paint. The horn on this thing makes it quick and easy. They all run back in the barn. Another day coming to an end. Let's get ready for this weekend. We'll be back out here tomorrow.